you all for inviting us to the beautiful Eastern Panhandle. I represent the West Virginia Oil and Natural Gas Association. Happens to be 100 years old this year, along with the Coal Association and the Manufacturers Association. And that ought to tell you what should drive this state. I want to give you all a couple of things that you need to know. First of all, we're not bringing a coal truck, we're not bringing a gas well to the Eastern Panhandle. So you don't have to worry about that, but you are going to reap the benefits of the Appalachian Mountains being 480 million years old, holding in the Marcellus Formation what we now know to be approximately 460 trillion cubic feet of gas, and in the Utica Shale, 780 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. And those numbers change almost annually. I can also tell you that southern West Virginia, now we've found a Rogersville shale that we can develop. It's at about 14,000 feet. It extends from Wood County down through Logan County and over into Kentucky and goes probably right to the outskirts of Lexington. On the West Virginia side, it is a huge formation, several hundred feet thick, full of wet gas, which has a lot of ethane, propane, butane, and isobutane. One of the discoveries we had on the way to 14,000 feet, we found 6 other pay zones on the way down that could be developed. Folks, we live in the most important place on earth. The Appalachians, I told you how old they are. That's why you have such an abundance of coal and such abundance of natural gas here. Probably more natural gas when history is written than anywhere in the world. We also know that from our geologists who've now been re-engaged since the shale revolution, we know that we've probably left 80 to 90% of everything we've ever gone after in the ground. And we've been producing oil and natural gas commercially in now West Virginia since 1803. So that just gives you a little bit of what the rich natural resources that we have. There's no reason why this county should have 4 natural gas customers. There's no reason why Berkeley County should have a handful of natural gas customers. And there's no reason, Charlie Trump, that Morgan County should have no natural gas. You know, that was all when we thought we had a finite amount of natural gas. Now we know we have more than anywhere in the world. We are earnestly looking and working every day to bring natural gas to the underserved and unserved parts of West Virginia. If you will look in the middle of the big publication given to you, you'll see Senate Bill 390. We think that's going to be the catalyst to serve some of the underserved and unserved areas. We're building interstate pipelines. We're going to be putting taps on those so that utilities will be able to come off of them. All these things are the resurgence of West Virginia, the resurgence of the tax base here, the manufacturing that should be here, that was here at one point in time. And again, you're not going to see a drill rig, you're not going to see a coal truck. And if you look, I think Chris left some publications, Colfax on everybody's table. If you look at www.bonga.com, there's a similar publication on there that we do annually, and not only 215s on there, but some of the preceding ones. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm Sammy Gray with First Energy. First Energy serves about half of the electric customers in West Virginia. Most of you know it's here in Eastern Panhandle what Potomac is. Talk about the state of energy in West Virginia. For our industry, one word sums it up: uncertainty. Last June, the US EPA issued a draft of its Clean Power Plan, which was a set of regulations to regulate CO2 emissions existing coal-fired electric generation plants. As you know, in West Virginia, most of our electricity comes from coal. Following the draft this past year, last week, they put out their final rule. The draft rule put out last summer called for a 20% reduction in CO2 for West Virginia plants by 2020. We thought that might be kind of an overshoot, they might come up with something less. Just the opposite happened. In last week's final rule, the percent reduction for West Virginia is 37% in CO2, just for West Virginia by 2022, in a short time frame. So when I say uncertainty, we're not sure exactly how this rule will affect us yet, because it was released a week ago. The rule is 1,500 pages, plus about another 1,500 pages of technical documents to go along with it. So we're, as an industry and a company, plowing through the rule now, trying to see exactly what it does to us. You know, the original rule, draft filed last year, made a lot of unrealistic assumptions. One example was heat rate. One of their targets was to reduce heat rate by 6%. And that's almost impossible in a modern power plant today, because of all the other control equipments. It's just not easy to run and turn a switch. It takes a lot of adjustments, and each power plant is different. Each one takes different controls and different methodologies to make them meet reduction targets. So we're not sure what type of technologies we'll be able to use to make those reductions. We're not sure if they're realistic. We know the ones in the draft rule were very unrealistic, and we're not sure how we're going to make them. We know that our reliance on coal has been very steady in West Virginia, and this rule could change that as well. We want to thank the legislature for passing House Bill 2004 this past year, for ensuring that we have as much flexibility as possible in the state rules and regulations for meeting the provisions of the Clean Power Plan. We also want to thank Attorney General Morrison for his leadership, putting together a multi-state coalition to fight the rule for EPA in court, and assuming that the rule is in place and it goes as is. We do know one thing, that we do believe the rates will go up. We're just not sure how much. But once we finally get to the rule, we'll work with our stakeholders within the industry, legislators, and the governor's office to see what kind of remedies we can work to best serve our customers. So, one word: state of energy for our industry right now: uncertain.